Hey, this is the episode of Movie Talk. Today's subject is books to movies. Now, I know that there's not a single one of you that has ever seen a movie that was based off of a book and not heard somebody say, "Oh, well, the book was better." Well, are you allowed to have that opinion? Yes. Is it correct? It can be. Can the book be better than a movie? Yes. But here's where you go wrong with that comparison. When you think that the movie is better, or the book is better than the movie because it didn't follow it exactly. I'm going to give you a little insight. In fact, I might offer you a challenge. Take any book and just try to adapt that into a screenplay. It's very, very, very difficult, and that's because these are two different mediums. In a movie, you can show action and fast-paced stuff that you can't show in a book. In a book, you can add dialogue and inner thoughts and conversation pieces and character backgrounds and insight that you can't get in a movie. They've tried to blend these sometimes, and honestly, they've never really worked. Does that mean that one is better than the other because of it? No. In my opinion, the best movies that have come out that were based on books that, they were based on books. I guess one example is Total Recall. I think that's the best sci-fi movie ever made. I mean, taking out Star Wars and stuff like that. And honestly, Star Wars is really, really good. I love Star Wars to death, and I think it's one of the greatest movie sagas ever. But I honestly think Total Recall is a better sci-fi movie. Just because you gotta remember that sci-fi contains everything else other than Star Wars. Not every sci-fi movie has lightsabers and stuff like that. But that's based off of a short story, and it works really well in translation. When you base things off of a short story, it gives you a lot of room to add in details and make the story stronger with that. You can expand on ideas that were in the short story. You can honestly fit all of that story in there. You can fit it all in there. When you take a Harry Potter book, for instance, and it's like 600 pages, and you try to condense that down into like a 3-hour movie, shit is gonna get cut. And sadly enough, it's gonna be the in-depth character stuff mostly. Because nobody, this is gonna sound mean, nobody really wants to go to a movie and just see a bunch of people sitting there talking. If they did follow book sources to the T, we would have the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring split into 4 movies, and an entire 3-hour movie would be spent at the Council of Elrond. Nobody would pay to see that. Nobody. Nobody at all. Honestly, I barely got through those chapters of the book. But it comes to a medium difference. It can't be done. So I really hate when people complain about it. But as I was saying earlier, yeah, the book can be superior to the movie. But you can't base it on the reasoning that they didn't follow the book exactly. It's because it's impossible. There are some things that you can do in a book that you can't do in a movie, and there are things you can do in a movie that you could not do in a book. So that's my 2 cents, 4 cents, 6 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents, $1. All for the beaver, stand up and holler. Woo! That was terribly embarrassing. I'm just gonna go.